In the heart of America, where dreams are chased and hopes are built, there exists another reality. A reality where shadows cling to the edges of bustling cities and the promise of prosperity fades before the harsh glare of danger. These are the places where fear becomes a constant companion and survival becomes a daily struggle. These are the 15 most dangerous cities in America. Once a symbol of American industrial might, Detroit now stands as a stark reminder of how quickly fortunes can change. The Motor City, once teeming with life and the hum of factories, now echoes with the silence of abandoned buildings and shattered dreams. The decline of the auto industry hit Detroit hard, leaving behind a trail of poverty, unemployment and despair. And where hope dwindles, crime often takes root. Detroit's streets have become a breeding ground for violence, with carjackings, robberies and assaults plaguing its citizens. The weight of its past weighs heavily on the present, making it a city where every day feels like a fight for survival. But even in the darkest of times, the human spirit endures. There are those who refuse to give up on Detroit, who strive to rebuild their communities and reclaim their city from the grip of fear. The Gateway Arch, a gleaming symbol of westward expansion, casts a long shadow over St. Louis, Missouri. But beneath its iconic arc lies a city grappling with a dark reality. St. Louis has earned the grim distinction of having one of the highest murder rates in the nation, a statistic etched in the fear of its residents. The streets have become a battleground, where violence erupts with terrifying frequency. The roots of St. Louis's struggles run deep, a complex web of poverty, segregation, and a lack of opportunity. Generations have been trapped in a cycle of despair, their dreams stifled by the harsh realities of their environment. But even in the face of such adversity, glimmers of hope emerge. Community leaders and activists are working tirelessly to address the root causes of violence and create a safer future for St. Louis. Memphis, a city known for its music, its history, the soul that seems to seep from its very streets. But beneath the rhythm and blues, a different tune plays, one of struggle, of hardship, of lives caught in the crossfire. Poverty casts a long shadow here, and where there's lack, there's often desperation. Desperation that can lead good people down dark paths, that can turn dreams into dust. The violence in Memphis is a wound that refuses to heal. A cycle spinning out of control. It leaves scars on the city, on its people, on the very soul of the place. Behind every statistic, there's a story. A life cut short, a family shattered, a community living in fear. The weight of it all, it's enough to make you wonder if hope can survive in such a place. But even in the darkest of times, even amidst the despair, there are glimmers of light. People fighting for change, working to break the cycle, to offer young people a different path. Baltimore, Charm City, a place of row houses and harbour views, of Edgar Allan Poe and crab cakes on the waterfront. But behind the postcard facade, a different story unfolds. Drug addiction, like a venomous snake, has coiled itself around this city, its fangs sunk deep into the lives of its citizens. It's a problem that cuts across racial and economic lines, leaving shattered lives and broken families in its wake. And where there are drugs, there's often crime. The two go hand in hand, a toxic dance that fuels the violence that plagues this city. It's a vicious cycle, one that seems impossible to break. But the problems in Baltimore run deeper than just drugs and crime. There's a sense that the system itself is broken, that the institutions meant to protect and serve have failed its people. Poverty, lack of opportunity, a sense of hopelessness, they all contribute to the despair that hangs over the city like a shroud. It's enough to make you wonder if anyone is listening, if anyone cares. But amidst the frustration and anger, there are voices calling for change. Community leaders, activists, everyday citizens, they're working to heal the wounds, to bridge the divides, to build a better future for Baltimore. Kansas City, the city of fountains, they call it. A place where jazz music once filled the air, where barbecue is king and the spirit of the Midwest runs deep. But even in the heartland, darkness finds its way in. Crime, like a cancer, has been spreading through this city. Year after year, the numbers climb, casting a shadow over the lives of its people. It's a slow, creeping fear that seeps into everyday life. The impact of this rising crime wave is felt far and wide. Businesses close their doors, families move away, and the sense of community begins to fray at the edges. The city feels fractured, its spirit wounded, but even in the face of fear, the people of Kansas City refuse to give up hope. They're coming together, organizing neighborhood watches, demanding action from their leaders. There's a growing movement to address the root causes of crime, poverty, lack of opportunity, a sense of hopelessness that pervades certain neighborhoods. It's a long and difficult journey, but they're determined to reclaim their city, to restore its heart. Cleveland, Ohio. Once a titan of industry, a symbol of American might, now a city grappling with its own reflection in the Cuyahoga River. They call it the mistake on the lake. A cruel joke, maybe. But like all jokes, there's truth hidden within. The decline of manufacturing, the flight of jobs, it left a scar on this city. And where hope fades, trouble often takes root. Poverty, unemployment, they breed desperation. And desperation, my friend, can lead a man down a dark path. We're talking about a city with one of the highest poverty rates in the country. A city where the echoes of factory floors are now replaced by the wail of sirens. But Cleveland, like so many American cities, is no stranger to hardship. It's a city with a backbone, forged in the fires of industry and tempered by the cold winds off Lake Erie. You see, there's a spirit here, a resilience that refuses to be extinguished. Community leaders working tirelessly, trying to rebuild, to heal. They haven't given up on Cleveland. They're investing in education, in job training, trying to break the cycle, to offer a hand up, not a handout. It's a long road back, a climb up a steep hill, but even in the darkest corners of Cleveland, you can still find glimmers of hope. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, known for its breweries, its baseball team, its friendly Midwestern charm. But beneath the surface of this city, a darker reality ferments. This is a city wrestling with a surge in violent crime. A city where the sound of gunshots has become a grim soundtrack to everyday life. The reasons are complex, interwoven like threads in a tapestry of despair. Poverty, segregation, lack of opportunity. They all play a part in this tragic story. And the victims, they come from all walks of life. Young and old, rich and poor, their lives cut short, their potential extinguished by the senselessness of it all. Milwaukee, like so many other cities on this list, struggles with a cycle of poverty and violence that's hard to break. It's a cycle that traps generation after generation. Young people growing up in neighborhoods where opportunity is scarce, where violence is a way of life, they become desensitized to it all. They see no other way out, no other future for themselves. And so the cycle continues, a tragic echo reverberating through the years. But amidst the despair, there are those who dare to hope. Community organizations, religious leaders, everyday citizens working to make a difference. They offer a beacon of light in the darkness, a testament to the enduring spirit of this city. Little Rock, Arkansas, a city forever etched in our nation's memory as a battleground for civil rights, but the fight for equality, for safety, it continues to this day. This is a city grappling with a stubborn crime rate, a rate that refuses to yield to the passage of time. It's a complex issue, with roots that run deep. Poverty, lack of access to education, and limited economic opportunities, they all cast long shadows over this city. Shadows that breed despair, that fuel the flames of violence. And while Little Rock has made strides in recent years, the scars of the past remain. The people of Little Rock, they're resilient. They've faced down adversity before and they're determined to do it again. There's a spirit of hope here, a belief that things can get better. Community leaders are working to address the root causes of crime. They're investing in education, creating job training programs, providing opportunities for young people. They're also working to build bridges between law enforcement and the community, fostering trust and understanding. It's a long and arduous journey, but they're committed to creating a safer, more just city for all. Little Rock may be a city with a troubled past, but it's also a city with a hopeful future. Hope. It's a fragile thing, a seed that needs fertile ground to grow. But in Stockton, California, hope often feels like it's withering on the vine. This city, once vibrant with agricultural promise, now finds itself wrestling with a different reality. The weight of gang violence hangs heavy here. Turf wars, drugs, and a pervasive sense of despair paint a grim picture. Yet even in the darkest corners, you can find glimmers of resilience. Community leaders working tirelessly, determined to reclaim their streets to nurture that fragile seed of hope. Poverty casts a long shadow in Stockton. It touches everything it falls upon, twisting fates and shaping futures. The lack of opportunities, the dwindling resources, it all contributes to a sense of hopelessness. And hopelessness, my friend, is a dangerous companion. When people feel trapped when they see no way out, they become vulnerable. Vulnerable to the allure of easy money, to the false promises whispered on street corners. It's a cycle that's hard to break. But breaking it, that's the only way to truly heal a city's soul. New Orleans, a city that dances to its own rhythm, a place where music hangs in the air thick as the humidity. But beneath the vibrancy, beneath the joyous spirit, lies a city still healing, still bearing the scars of a storm that refused to be tamed, Hurricane Katrina. It ripped through these streets, leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair. Homes lost, lives shattered, a sense of security washed away, and in the aftermath, as the waters receded, the city found itself grappling with another kind of flood, a surge in crime, a desperate scramble for survival. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And the people of New Orleans, they possess a strength born of resilience. They rebuilt their lives, brick by brick, note by note. They clung to their culture, their traditions, their indomitable spirit. But the scars of Katrina run deep. The storm exposed the city's vulnerabilities, the deep-rooted inequalities that continue to plague its recovery. Still, New Orleans perseveres, a testament to the human spirit's ability to rise above even the most devastating of blows. Across the bay from the glittering skyline of San Francisco lies Oakland, a city of contrasts, of beauty and struggle, of hope and despair. But for many of its residents, Oakland is a city under siege. Caught in the crossfire of gang violence, their lives punctuated by the staccato rhythm of gunshots. The streets have become battlegrounds, turf wars fought with reckless abandon. Innocent lives caught in the crosshairs, their stories silenced by the deafening roar of violence. It's a cycle that feeds on itself. Poverty, lack of opportunity, it all contributes to a sense of hopelessness, a breeding ground for desperation and despair. But even in the heart of darkness, there are those who fight for the light. Community leaders, activists, mothers who've lost their sons, their voices rising above the din, demanding change. They organize peace marches, mentor at-risk youth, work tirelessly to break the cycle of violence that has gripped their city for far too long. They know that real change comes from within, from empowering individuals, from rebuilding trust, from creating opportunities where once there were none. It's a long and arduous journey, this fight for peace, but it's a fight they refuse to abandon. The desert sun, it can be a harsh mistress. Beat down on you, make you feel like hope itself is drying up. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, that sun shines down on a city grappling with shadows. A different kind of heat rises from the streets, fueled by desperation, poverty, and violence. Albuquerque's story isn't unfamiliar. Like many American cities, it's battling economic hardship, unemployment, addiction, gangs. They all find purchase in the cracks. And the numbers tell a grim tale. Aggravated assaults, property crime, auto theft, all higher than the national average. Behind each statistic, a life touched by fear and loss. The men and women of Albuquerque's police department know the weight of these statistics. They're on the front lines, facing the city's demons head-on. They see the toll on victims, families, and themselves. It's a heavy burden to protect and serve, but they answer the call time and time again. Albuquerque's story is a microcosm of a larger national crisis. It's a fight that demands our attention and empathy. Behind every statistic, there's a human story. Chicago, the windy city. A metropolis of soaring skyscrapers, vibrant culture, and a history etched in steel and sweat. But beneath the glittering facade, a different kind of wind blows. A wind that carries the sharp crack of gunfire and the echo of sirens. For years, Chicago has wrestled with a reputation for violence. The city's homicide rate often makes national headlines. It's a complex issue, this violence that plagues Chicago. Across Chicago, community organizations, activists, and everyday citizens are working to break the cycle of violence. They mentor at-risk youth, provide job training, and offer a hand up to those struggling to escape poverty. True change comes from the heart, from investing in communities, building bridges of understanding, and offering hope. Behind every grim statistic, there are faces, names, and stories of resilience. It's a testament to the enduring spirit of those who refuse to give up on their city. Houston, Texas, a sprawling metropolis, a beacon of the American South, a hub of innovation and industry, yet a place where opportunity and hardship coexist. The promise of a better life often collides with crime and despair. In this bustling city, many live in fear, trapped in a cycle of violence and uncertainty. It's easy to point fingers, to blame it all on a lack of morals or personal responsibility. But the truth is far more complex. Houston's crime problem is a symptom of deeper societal issues: poverty, inequality, and lack of opportunity. Generations trapped in disadvantaged neighborhoods turn to desperate measures to survive, and the consequences are devastating. But even in the darkest times, hope flickers. Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. A place steeped in history, a cradle of American independence. But beneath the weight of its legacy, a different kind of struggle unfolds. You see, Philadelphia, like many of its urban counterparts, grapples with a pervasive darkness. Violent crime casts a long shadow over its historic streets, a stark reminder that even in the birthplace of liberty, freedom from fear remains elusive. The statistics paint a grim picture, a tapestry woven with threads of violence and despair. And behind those numbers lie countless stories of loss, pain, and shattered dreams. For many residents, the fear is palpable, a constant companion. Now, some might say this is just the price of urban life, too dismissive of the human toll exacted by this relentless violence. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They're fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, caught in a crossfire they never asked for. But even in the face of such despair, there are glimmers of hope. We've journeyed through America's troubled cities, witnessing struggles and triumphs, confronting harsh realities, sobering statistics of urban America. These are human stories, tales of resilience and despair. Behind every statistic, there's a face, a family, a community changed by violence. Let these truths be a call to action. Stay safe, stay aware. Subscribe for more insight.